What's up, guys? Yeah, back at another video. We're going to talk about the WWE selling out to Peacock. And God, that's such a terrible streaming name. But anyways, kind of what does that mean, and how did they get this done, and all that jazz. But first, I've kind of had a makeover on the channel. It's now called Hit You with the Real. This basically opens up things for me that I can talk about instead of just wrestling and fighting. I want to talk about other things. I'll do my best to stay away from politics, but mainly, if I like a TV show, if I like a movie, if I want to talk about the Cowboys, all sorts of stuff. So that's basically why I chose that title. And like I said, I don't want to be limited. I want to be able to talk about what I want to talk about. So let's talk about the network, what this means, all that jazz. So when I first read this, I was really surprised. One, because the WWE isn't doing great. Like, there's just a lot that they're not really delivering on. SmackDown is pretty much their best show, but like Raw is abysmal right now. Everybody talks trash on Raw and how bad it is. I wouldn't know. I don't watch it. I don't watch it at all. So I have no idea. I recently canceled the network, but when they announced this, so it's going to be like the last of whatever the network is going to be. So I went ahead and subscribed again just to kind of make sure that I get to watch what I want to watch and stuff like that, because I don't want to all of a sudden get on there and then it's really limited, or it takes months before new stuff gets in there, or what. My hope is that when you go to Peacock, it'll have like a little WWE section, just like in Disney Plus, right? Like on Disney Plus has the Marvel section, Star Wars section. You just click on that, and then you basically have the network for what it used to look like, and you can just scroll through and have everything in there. Couple things I'm concerned about: cancel culture. Cancel culture is real, and it really goes into effect when corporations get involved. And so now that they're owned by NBC Universal on the network, what's to stop them from saying, "Hey, get Benoit off of there. No more Benoit footage." And they're not going to be able to just edit Benoit out. That'll take so long, so a lot of stuff will just get pulled until they are able to edit Benoit out. You know how much wrestling stuff that is? You know how many pay-per-views that is? I mean, stuff like that I'm concerned about. What if they decide to sign Marty Scurll and the people freaking go nuts and say, "Hey, I don't want this guy on here, get rid of him," and the WWE is forced to let him go because the corporations now are saying, "Hey, we gotta let you go. I'm sorry, you're just causing too much drama." I just don't like that. I don't like any time where basically corporations stick their nose in business and then say, like, we're forced to do this to please a certain customer. Cancel culture is the worst. And it's usually over a big misunderstanding, or just because somebody got offended and it's not really something that actually happened, or the facts aren't straight. Like, yeah, I understand the Benoit thing. I mean, he was a murderer. So I understand it, but the history is there, and there's just way too much of it to just delete the guy. The biggest thing is it's future stuff, right? So, if he was still alive or he was still in prison and then he got out, yeah, you can't have him back on the show or something like that. But I mean, at this point, he's done what he's done, and history has made its mind up on him, right? So you should be able to still watch his matches. But like I said, I'm concerned about that. Another thing I'm concerned about is just flat out, what if Peacock just doesn't want to have that much storage for WWE content? So, what if they're like, "Hey, we don't really need ECW stuff," or, "Hey, we don't need WCW," or, get rid of this or that. Like, I just don't like that. That concerns me as well. So hopefully the WWE network stays on the way that it is. I think it's a great product. I think it's way ahead of its time. It's now starting to catch up, but when it first came out, I mean, it was just unbelievable. It was an unbelievable concept that you could get all the pay-per-views, all the original content that they offered, all the back catalog of everything. Like it was unbelievable. It just sucks that their current product sucks, because it'd have been fantastic if the product was great and you would have that. Like, I thought 2016 was a fun year. 2016, AJ's debut in the WWE, stuff like that, Kevin Owens and all that. Like, there was a lot of good stuff. NXT was super hot. I thought that was a really great year. So the network has provided a lot of good stuff, a lot of great original content. The Taker documentary, like, there's so much good stuff on the network. I highly recommend it. And I'm honestly concerned for its future, because what if this doesn't work? And then it's like, they already felt like the network didn't work before. So then do they just move on completely and try something else and start charging for pay-per-views? Or how does that work? It's just a lot to think about, a lot to consider. The funniest thing to me, though, is the WWE sucks. Like, and I've been saying this since I was 24 years old, right? 23 even. The WWE sucks, and yet they are able to sell themselves for billions, man. Like, they sold this deal on 5 years for $1 billion. For what? Their stuff is garbage. And they're wanting to increase subscribers for Peacock. And now they don't owe anybody a damn thing. Like, they could give you the absolute worst show. And what are you going to do? You're going to say, I'm going to cancel my Peacock subscription? Doesn't matter. They already got their money. They don't care. So, and with no crowds, they literally don't owe anybody a damn thing. They can do whatever they want. They can push whoever they want. They can put whatever pay-per-view out there they want, and they don't have to worry about a damn thing. And a company like the WWE that already provides not the best product, this is not a good thing. This is really not a good thing, because now you can't hold their feet to the fire. You can't say, hey, your pay-per-view sucked, I'm canceling the network, or, I'm no longer going to be your customer. They don't give a crap. They don't give a crap, because they got paid. Their money is guaranteed. They're good to go. Who cares? So, it's just unbelievable how things have worked out, Like, from when I first started videos with Bill, like, we knew the where the WWE was heading, like, for their future. We knew they couldn't build new stars. We knew that they were going to rely on the old stars. And, I mean, that has completely come to pass. But the problem is now is I just didn't know, like, business-wise, how smart they were going to be to stick around, like the network, right? But, like, I always thought that they would be in deep trouble if they had a bad product. Like, eventually it would add up, and eventually it'd be like, they're going to suffer for this. And man, it just seems like they always find a way to get out of it. They always find a way to, no matter how bad things get, to be able to get out of these holes. Oh, no live attendance? It's okay. We sold our freaking to SmackDown for like $4 billion, and we're still have no live attendance. It's all right. We'll just sell the network for $1 billion. Like, man, I said when I was back in the day, I was like, if Vince is such a genius, is Vince McMahon really a genius? If Vince was such a genius, man, Vince is a freaking genius on business. Just unbelievable. Business, that guy knows the business. Creative, garbage. Absolute garbage. And like, product decisions, garbage. But like, to actually know the business, the money, the side of where the revenue is coming and the distribution and all that, like, man, you don't want to mess with Vincent. Kennedy McMahon. Like, that dude is a bad man when it comes to this stuff. So, yeah, it doesn't matter how bad they treat these NXT guys that get called up, and it doesn't matter how stupid these storylines are, and it doesn't matter. They always will find a way to weasel their way out of something, and they don't pay consequences for their actions. And as a fan, that's extremely frustrating because you want them to be better. I mean, hell, it was like, man, AEW's coming around, like, competition is good. You know, they're really going to push the envelope and we're going to get the best things. And then it's like, well, we're going to pull NXT from the network and we're going to make them compete with AEW. And pretty much all they're doing is making or NXT a sacrificial lamb for AEW to fail. And it doesn't fail, but it can never be what it's supposed to be when it always is going head to head with NXT. It's always going to be, right now at least, in that 800, 900,000 range, and NXT's going to get their little 600, 700,000, whatever it is. And it's just like back and forth. But like, if they would just let AEW be AEW and NXT be NXT, that's the thing that's so frustrating, is they're hurting NXT. NXT is forced to be in a fight that they don't want to be in, nor should they be in. But the WWE doesn't care because they're willing to sacrifice NXT to make AEW not look as popular, as big as it is. But AEW, I mean, my God. Like, and I understand ratings and all that stuff, but dude, this is different than TNA. This is so much different than TNA. Like, if you look at just AEW's figures, like, during a pandemic, I was able to buy Series 2 for $145. So people that could get these, and I got them right off the bat, right? When people were able to get these figures, if you ordered them right off the bat, you got them first. So I got them first, which means if you wanted to get the series, you're probably going to have to wait a couple of months if you didn't get there first. These people are willing to pay $700, $1,000 on eBay. I was able to flip those things for almost $700. You're never going to get that with TNA. You aren't even going to get that with WWE. Like, the loyalty and the fan base that AEW has is through the roof. The way their tickets were selling, everything. This is a different deal. And I know the ratings don't reflect it, but it's different. It's definitely different. And if you're looking at the 18 to 34 or 49 demographic, they're pretty competitive with the WWE. So, it's a different ball game. But hey, at the end of the day, what does it matter? Like I said, they can sell the network, they can sell the Fox, and they just keep making billions of dollars. And they keep signing these wrestlers, and then these wrestlers complain, like Mustafa Ali. He gets all upset about his position in the company. It's like, bro, you signed with them. You know what they are. You can't sit there and just cry, woe is me, and say, I wish that it would be this way, or what, because that's all you're doing. You're wishing. This isn't going to happen. That's not them. Like, I don't understand what these wrestlers don't get, what they're getting into when they go to the WWE. Like, as a fan, a diehard wrestling fan that grew up with the WWE from birth, as a child, watched it since I was 3, I understand what they are now. I fully get it. You know, and it's like, it is unfortunate that they are the measuring stick of pro wrestling in a casual fan's eyes. When you talk about pro wrestling, immediately it's WWE. But it's like, they have a one-way vision on how pro wrestling should be looked at and how it should be done and presented. And it's like, you could have longtime fans and they'll just say, I don't really watch wrestling anymore. But you could show them New Japan, you could show them AEW, you could take them and show them other places and indie shows and things like that. And they're like, I really like that. So you actually do like pro wrestling. You just don't like the WWE. And I think that that's really where we're at right now. is, before the pandemic, like pro wrestling was, it was in a good place, man. Indie shows were hot. AEW was hot. Um, you know, crowds and the energy and just everything. And man, like AEW should be in such bad shape right now, as a startup company and everything, and they've been able to keep their momentum for the most part. It's definitely not the same. I mean, they were at a real high, and I'd say right now they're kind of So it's definitely not the same, but props to them, and props to WWE too. They've been putting on shows. They figured out the Thunderdome and all that stuff, which was way better than nothing. I have no idea what the hell Impact is doing with just nothing. You can't do just nothing. ROH, you can't do just nothing. You have to have some type of crowd. You have to have some type of interaction, something. It's just, you can't do wrestling without it. So yeah, just the end of the day, WWE outsmarts us. They can suck. They can suck till the end of time. They're always going to get their money, and they're always going to find a way, and the fans are always going to have to suffer through it. But that's just the reality of the situation, and you almost have to give them props for it. They figured out a way. They don't, like, what job can you be terrible at and get promotions? Like, besides, the president. The idea that they can just go and have some of the worst years they've had in 2 decades and get $1 billion. It's just disheartening. But hey, it is what it is. Everybody enjoy the Royal Rumble. And, what is it? McIntyre and Goldberg? Or is that true? I don't even know, guys. I don't know. I'm going to watch, but I don't know. Roman and Kevin Owens, I saw Roman and Kevin Owens in a last man standing. That should be pretty good, right? No clue. Edge is back in the Royal Rumble. That's cool. I don't know. You tell me what's good right now. I know that the Roman stuff's been pretty good. I haven't been able to watch a lot of it, but I've heard it's been pretty good. So, props to that. I've always thought Roman was good. He just was booked wrong. But, yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, enjoy the Royal Rumble on Sunday. Watch AEW's on Wednesday, And do me a favor, guys. Like this video. Subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. I'm kind of starting from scratch here, so it's the same channel, but I definitely am not in favor with Google, the algorithms, and all that stuff. So kind of give me another shot. Hit that like button, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and I'll talk to you guys on the next video.